Welcome back, everybody, to the High Elevation
Elevation,
Podcast.
elevation. Hey, hey, hey.
I'm Reed. This is my cousin Dan.
Tall, high elevated, high elevation IQ.
Hi, everything.
Exactly.
Just tall people with tall IQs. That's how it is. Anyway, welcome back. It is May 7th. Been a minute since our last podcast, but we've
we had a
both been.
couple. We had a couple that we recorded didn't go through, or
Yeah, but
technical difficulties. It's tough having this podcast life. You
yeah,
never know what you're gonna encounter.
yeah. And we've also been busy in our own lives. I just got back from New Orleans,
What you
kind of
do
get
there?
kind of vibing. I had a little, I don't want to say a job interview, but more of like a business meeting, if you will.
Okay. Was it
Um,
was it was it was it successful?
I think it was. I am
Good.
very happy with it. What have
So you're
you?
waiting to hear back from somebody, or are you just
It's more like connection. It's more just like making connections with someone I know is pretty high up in the field I want to be in. So
all right,
that's
keeping it secretive over there, Reed? Well, good luck.
a
Good
lot, a
luck.
lot of
What's
people.
it called?
Thank you.
I was my buddy Rylan Thomas. Really cool story. Just was in he's on the Seattle Mariners farm system. Got moved up to the actual Seattle Mariners and made his MLB debut. I went to Seattle to see him play. He actually didn't even get into the game, so he suited up. But then he played a game in Texas.
Yeah.
So I flew out to Texas as well. I saw his debut, saw his first hit, went on the field after the game. It was amazing stuff, and
Wow,
it was really a one of a kind of
so
experience seeing one of your best buddies play in MLB. So
crazy. Yeah, funny when he got his first hit. Sadly, I couldn't watch the game live because since New Orleans doesn't have a team,
hmm
it was this game is blacked out in your area because they're in Dallas.
oh,
So
because it's like the
yeah,
closest team.
I think them and the Astros get blacked out there. So
Oh my
I
goodness, I
got
didn't know that.
I got screwed, but I was able to still watch like the highlights and stuff, and
Yeah,
it was funny seeing he got first hit, little bloop double down the line, and then
yeah, it's awesome.
they showed Daniel going up
Oh
and
yeah,
down.
yeah. So I was in the family section during the game,
Yeah,
and after he got the hit, the Mariners broadcast, they showed me on TV yelling for him. It was pretty cool stuff.
pretty cool, pretty cool. I was like, that's Dan. I had to go back. So
Oh wait, you saw it watching yourself?
yeah, I didn't know you were on it until I saw it myself. I
Oh.
was like, wait, that's Dan. Now, to be fair, it wasn't like complete surprise. I thought you were in the family and friends section, so I thought they'd show that area. So I
Yeah.
was looking for it, but still, I was like, no way. But I also see you like by yourself as well. You know, his
Yeah.
family's there too. They got like moved around, so
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
you freaking out.
No, yeah, 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 yeah,
Awesome.
exactly, exactly. It was awesome.
But yeah, but outside of that, there's been a lot of sports news. Some things what we want to go over. Obviously, we haven't done
Well,
an official.
I also will say maybe one day we can get Ron on the podcast for the
Yeah,
people. He'll talk about his debut and how everything was with MLB.
just get the insight of an MLB player at what that's like.
Exactly,
But yeah,
exactly.
hopefully things go well. Gets we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't done a podcast though. I think since the NFL draft, and that has been definitely mainly been on my mind.
hmm
But I think even more important than the NFL draft was today. Your Steelers traded away George Pickens.
Yes.
Um,
So,
yeah,
quick recap of well, me personally with the NFL. Obviously, I didn't play football growing up. I was a basketball player,
yeah,
but I'm a big NFL fan. I've never really understood some of the things the NFL does with the draft.
yeah,
There's always things where it's like, why did they do this, and or why did they do that?
yeah,
And you know, obviously with the Steelers, the big thing was the Shador Sanders thing.
hmm
The people thought they were going to get him in the first round. They passed on him like 3 or 4 times. So
yeah,
clearly they didn't want the guy. I think the Steelers, so this started when they got rid of Deontay Johnson. I think maybe even before that. They've really come, they're really trying to have a locker room culture change.
yeah,
And and I think last year they tried that, and then the George Pickens is so talented, it's hard to just ignore the talent there.
yeah,
I think they tried a season with having George Pickens, but I think they just said, you know what, we need to do a full, like everyone needs to be out if
overhaul.
they're affecting the culture. if they're about themselves or they're about. I'm not even saying he. I mean, just I don't know George Pickens. I mean, but it looks like sometimes
Yeah.
he is a little selfish on the field based on his body language.
I mean, I look at ESPN and
So, can you hear me right? All right, so a little cut off there, but as I was saying, George Pickens. I mean, obviously, I don't know the guy. He could be a great guy, but it just does seem like he is a little bit of a selfish player sometimes, based on his body language. And I think the Steelers have said, you know what, we're completely over it. Like I know he's a great talent, but it hasn't worked out. And to be honest, I feel like he hasn't gotten to his potential, George Pickens.
yeah,
And also the Steelers, they don't have a they don't really have a. They have a reputation of when they get rid of a receiver, the receiver does terrible. Like for like someone like Chase Claypool or Dante Johnson, like
yeah.
they're great in the they're decent in the Steelers, and they go somewhere else and they don't do anything. So I'm not really. I mean, obviously everyone's different,
Yeah. I
but
my concerns with it one are well one thing I like for this about the Steelers when you look at DK Metcalf and George Pickens you're essentially looking at the same receivers who don't get a lot of good separation
mhm,
but are sorry wait no repeat two bigger bodies if you will
mhm,
that are both should be more deep ball threats than they actually are but do very
mhm,
well in open space. I think someone like DK Metcalf, for example, gets a misnomer of being this big deep ball jump ball threat because of his size. Where someone like DK Metcalf really strives is in the short game where he has open room to run, just because it's impossible to tackle him after you
yeah.
get the ball in his hands. That being said, you were essentially getting two of the same receiver. Metcalf was clearly the Pickens replacement, so I don't mind the Steelers trading him. I just don't love the haul they got back. I mean, if I look at it here, I believe they got a third and a fourth, if I'm
A
correct.
third and yeah, a third and like a later round.
Yeah,
That's another thing about the NFL that confuses me. It's like there'll be these great players, and all you get from them is like a fourth rounder. It's like I
but when
don't.
when is a third round pick, a fourth round pick, going to be as good as George Pickens? Like,
Exactly.
I
Well,
don't.
the thing, yeah, I don't know. So the Steelers clearly, I know, to be honest, Steelers have been doing a lot of questionable things for me the past couple of years.
Yeah,
And the biggest thing about the Steelers for me is the offense. It looks like it's in the 1970s still,
yeah,
and so it just a little annoying. I did see a tweet today saying that maybe this move is something for Aaron. Like, is Aaron Rodgers wanting to bring in someone like an Alan Lazard, someone he's closer with?
yeah,
Um, you never know. But the thing is it's been like 3 months now, and Rodgers still hasn't signed, and it is a little annoying as a Steeler fan.
yeah.
But end of the day, I'm not the coach. All I can do is sit back and see what they're going to do, trust the process, I guess, and hope. And we'll probably end up being a wild card team again and losing the first
Something like
round.
that. One thing I did, speaking of Steelers though, and then kind of segueing it into the draft, is one, I absolutely love the Will Howard pick. I believe it was in the sixth round.
Hmm.
That is a pick I really like. I think Will Howard was one of the best quarterbacks in this class. Obviously, I don't think he was Sanders level, which obviously the Steelers had issues with Sanders. But that being
Hmm.
said, I think he's going to be a very solid backup for the Steelers for a few years. And then on top of that, I do think you guys are going to get Rodgers, so I'm not too concerned about that. But the Caleb Johnson pick at running back, I think he's going to fit in seamlessly with the Steelers. He's already wearing the black and yellow with the Iowa, but beyond
And
that,
is he a speedster or is he a strong guy?
he is someone who I did a whole draft like recap on him. I actually want to click on him while I talk about him, and I'm gonna pop it
Hmm.
up real quick as
Hmm.
I do it. But he is someone who I believe does very well in space. Where you guys drafted him third round, I believe. Very.
I believe so.
Let me find your pick here. Teams. Let me go to the Steelers. Actually, let me pull up what I'm doing so everyone can see. Screen. NFL draft. There we go. To the Steelers. Yeah, you got him in the third. If we just look here, he is someone who it's very hard to bring him down, but he's also not like a huge power back. He has great vision, great vision in the backfield, hard to bring down. He isn't, and I think what I saw from him, he is someone who reaches his top speed very quickly, great
Okay.
acceleration. He's not a super fast back, but he has great acceleration. So, either way, I was super, super high on him. I think I had him as my running back 4 in the class, only behind obviously Genty, Hampton, and Henderson. So I think to get him in the third was kind of a steal for the Steelers.
No, yeah, I think it's a good pick. The Steelers, they've also been known to kind of just get rid of running backs. Like Najee Harris was there for a while.
Yeah,
Um, what's it called? And I think they do like one thing I do like about the Steelers is they do like to do a two running back system
yeah.
recently at least, and I think that's been a good thing for us.
I mean, what is it going to be this year? Johnson and Gainwell, maybe?
Jalen Warren,
You think Warren's going to be over Gainwell? I can see that.
for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
Warren's the better running back. I think Gainwell's the better receiving back. I think you'll see Gainwell in a lot of third down long sets.
Totally.
I'm not, to be honest, I am not a huge Warren fan. I remember when I saw it last year, it was Harris and Warren on the field. At least
Hmm.
from my eye, I'm like, there is one running back who's just so clearly better on the field,
Hmm.
being Harris. But no, I think
No, yeah, I think Warren obviously doesn't have the body type to be a high level NFL running
yeah,
back. It's just there is moments where he has great
mm,
plays, and I think he wants it more than I say a Najee Harris.
yeah,
Like at least, but based on how they ran, it seemed like sometimes he would want it more.
yep,
Uh, but he definitely had a better year 2 years ago than he did last year,
yeah,
which is why he kind of had a lot of snaps last year, I guess. So
yeah.
yeah.
I when I look at the Steelers class for you, and I honestly have not a singular problem. I was so dreading them taking Sanders in the first round. I
Hmm.
thought there was just so much better talent available. That being said, I don't know if I would have gone with Harmon. Um, but like not taking Sanders, getting an actual true first round
No,
talent.
yeah, they always want to get like defensive linemen, bro. It's like why?
I mean, I was super high on the Steelers possibly getting either one of the like Luther Bird in there, obviously slot because right now you have Metcalf. You at the time you had Metcalf and Pickens, two
Hmm.
not slot receivers. Burden is one of the best slot receivers that I've ever seen come out in like a true slot receiver in a long time. I was so high on you guys getting him, and also another one which I'll put an asterisk on was Will Johnson, who ended up falling midway through the second round because I guess injury concerns.
Hmm.
But either way, but outside of that, I was so happy you guys didn't take Sanders. Then I thought you were definitely going to take him in the third, but then you take Johnson, who I was
I
so
know.
happy with. Then once you didn't take him in the fourth, I realized, all right, there's probably something up with Sanders. I just don't know. Clearly, it was
Uh-huh.
clearly it was no team had a starting grade on him, and he was just too much of a headache to be a backup. Actually,
Yeah.
I'll get your opinion on that. Did you want the Steelers to take Sanders? Were you thinking that's a move, or
Well, as I said earlier, like
yeah,
the Steelers draft stuff, I really don't understand what they're ever doing.
yeah,
And clearly, like I got a buddy who his dad was an NFL scout. They do their research these scouts and teams and
yeah,
more than I could ever do, right? So and then have the interviews and they see them train and they talk to their coaches and people who were on the team with them, whatever.
yeah,
Sanders, I feel like obviously has the Sanders name. He has the clout. He has
yeah.
and it's not like the Steelers have like a ticket selling problem. Like that's not a
No,
problem. It's not like drafting Bronny.
yeah,
It's just like not the Lakers do either, but just like it's just they don't really need like as I said, like the Steelers kind of are trying to do that locker room reset, and I feel like that just defeats the entire purpose if they did get Sanders,
yeah.
right?
I get that. And
So
I don't know if you already saw. I think we saw something along the lines of one of someone in Shedder's camp, the Sanders camp, was complaining that this guy took the number 2, who had never worn the number 2 before. It's like, who are you to say some NFL veteran now shouldn't have the number 2 or any number over a fifth round rookie? Like,
but did you see what Cam Ward was first pick, right?
yeah,
You see what happened with him?
what he did? Oh, got Warren Moon's number. If that's what you're talking
Yeah, the
about, yeah.
Warren Moon took his number out of retirement for
Take it from big. But I don't think Cam Ward's going to be worth it, but we'll see. Um,
him.
I was but a couple picks, and also I want to go to the Chargers pick just because that's obviously my team.
Hmm.
Look, I've seen a lot of people praise this pick. I've seen a lot of people be like, "Oh, Chargers had a great draft." I'm going to be honest. I kind of hated the Chargers draft. I don't
Hmm.
get the Hampton pick when we just get Harris, and we already had good running backs on the roster. We have Vidal, who we got last year as well. There was a chance we could have brought back Dobbins for basically nothing. But instead, now we pick Hampton, who, again, he was my number 2 running back in the class. But it
They
was,
got him in the first round.
yeah, it was not a position in need. I really wanted to take either Will Johnson or Matthew Golden here.
So when you
Um,
got that pick, you were surprised.
I'm surprised is the wrong word because it was almost like I was dreading it. I was dreading the fact we'd take Hampton than we did. I really wanted Matthew Golden. I was so
Hmm.
high on him. He's someone who can play out an outside receiver spot, who plays above his size. I was so happy. Obviously, I wanted Will Johnson, but there was a reason he was falling. So I was like, all right, maybe not. But I wanted Johnson or Golden. We take Hampton. I'm like, I guess. But then the Chargers' next pick, Trey Harris, I was so pumped about. A 6'2" big body receiver who will play on the outside for us. He's immediately probably our wide receiver too. Fits right in. But then I honestly just hated the rest of our draft. I think we overdrafted on. We needed a D tackle, but I think we overdrafted on Caldwell. I take one thing back. Really like the Kyle Kennard pick. I think we're going
Okay.
to try and make him the Bosa replacement. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Love that pick. But then we needed a tight end. Gadsden was just not the answer. I just
All
don't
right.
I just don't know the pick there. I've seen a lot of people praise it. I hate it. Keandre Lambert Smith. I mean, just look at it. No, the number 261 overall rank, a 40 grade, and we're taking him in the 5th round. When now, off the top of my head, I don't remember what receivers were available, but there was about at least 7 receivers I had over this guy at the time. We could have got him in the 7th, but we
Now
took
here's a
him.
question, Reed. I know you're really into the draft.
Yeah.
Do you know almost every player drafted?
No, in the first 4 rounds. In the first 4 rounds, I'd say I know who you are.
Yeah.
Five through 7, then I don't know who the hell RJ
You have to
Mickens
look them
is.
up.
Yeah,
You have to look them up and
yeah.
stuff.
I don't know RJ Mickens, but
Now, give me the best picks in the draft and the worst picks in the draft, and just
I'm also
how
gonna
your
go.
overall thoughts of the class.
I'm gonna go real quick, kind of like a very quick round by round, favorite and worst, and I'll do like 1 through 4 because again, those are the picks I
Hmm.
know. I don't want to
Hmm.
speculate on round 6 where I
Yeah.
don't. That being said, probably Will Howard would unironically be my favorite pick in the 6th round. That being
Hmm.
said, like I think, for example, I'm kind of getting off topic. I think Will Howard is just so much better than Kyle McCord. Like, what are you doing picking Kyle McCord over Will
No,
Howard?
yeah. Will Howard dropping that far confusing. He has the build of Big Ben and
Yeah.
Josh Allen, and he won a national championship. So we'll see.
But in the first round, I gotta say my least favorite move, and it's very easy off bat. It is the Browns trading out of the Travis Hunter pick. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to put any hate on Mason Graham. Mason Graham was my top D tackle in the draft. Like, he was an easy top 10 talent.
Hmm.
That being said, what are you doing trading out of Travis Hunter?
What they
In
get
my
in
opinion,
return?
they got, I think, obviously they got the 5th overall pick. I think they got the 1st round next year, if I'm not mistaken, and I think a
Okay.
2nd rounder. If
Okay.
I see, and then there's like some 4th round pick swaps. Either way, what are you doing? Travis Hunter
He's your number one guy, right?
he was the generational pick in this draft. He was my number 1 guy. I know he's basically everyone's number 1 guy. I just don't understand. I think it was a great, and then on vice versa, I don't want to give the Jaguars the best move because they did give up a ton. So we'll
Now
see
here's the
how it
question:
is.
Is the Titans are the Titans dumb for not picking Hunter?
Mm, I think so. It was set in stone they were going to pick Cam Ward. Like, everyone knew they were doing it.
Hmm.
How do you not pick Hunter there? Cam Ward is not a generational player. At the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers still is available. You still have Will Levis. Now you have Cam Ward around a team of nothing. You could have had then a quarterback next year around
Yeah,
Travis Hunter, like on both sides
exactly.
of the ball doing it. I just don't
Totally.
understand. Hunter is so I think for my worst thing in the 1st round, it is the Browns moving out of that Travis Hunter pick. And then for my best move, I'm not going to say it's the Jaguars moving up because they did give up a lot, and I guess he isn't bona fide stud. So I'll hold my horses there. But my favorite non-surprise pick is the Colts not having to trade up for Tyler Warren. I mean, he is by far the number 1 tight end in this class for me.
Hmm.
And getting him
And they
there,
needed it.
yeah, and their biggest need and not having to trade up was absolutely huge. But I think my favorite pick. I mean, there's a lot of picks I liked, but I'll go between 2. The Raiders not passing on Genty. I think this. I think he's all. Already writing him up for Offensive Player of the Year this year.
Who's the Raiders quarterback? Who's the Raiders quarterback again?
They just got Geno Smith.
Okay.
And they locked him up, I think, for 3 years, so they're set on that. But I think the Genty pick, just not passing up on him, it's what they needed to do, and they did it. I love it. And then also, I mean, I'm going to go with the Packers taking Matthew Golden, who I wanted the Chargers to take so badly. And then the Packers just snatched him up. They didn't need him as badly as the Chargers, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's a stud. I think he's... Yes, obviously I had Ted McMillan over him, but there's a clear difference. And if the Panthers didn't take Ted McMillan there, I would have lost my mind. To be fair, they could have taken Will Johnson. I would have been happy, but for them. But yeah. And then also one more underrated one: the Chiefs. Josh Simmons falling into their lap, who I had as the best offensive tackle in this class, falling in at 32. I mean, to be fair, he fell because of injury concerns. But man, if he's healthy, I think there was only one generational tackle in this draft, and it's Josh Simmons. And they got him at 32. So
are you always this into the draft?
For the past 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, you just like it.
Yeah, and then also if you have any input, feel free. But no, I'll do. Then that was the first round. I'll do these ones much quicker. My two favorite picks of this round are very clearly Luther Burden for the Bears. I thought he had an easy first round grade, and then Will Johnson to the Cardinals. Injury concerns to be damned. This guy was my number 3 player in this class. My number 3 player in this class, only behind Hunter and Carter. Him and I will say, who was it? Genty were close at 3-4. But he was my number 3 player. Yes, he fell because of injury concerns, but man. And then also shout out to the Chargers pick. Really love this pick. By far my least favorite pick in this class was I go back to the Browns. I really just didn't like their class at all. Was them taking Judkins over Travion Henderson. I think Henderson is just by far the better prospect on all measures.
So why do the Browns always make questionable moves?
They're just a bad organization. I don't.
Yeah.
They're just not a well-run organization. It shows on the play on the field.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, Myles Garrett is still in the Browns, right?
Yeah, they signed up for that. I guess that was one good thing they did. Sign up to a huge extension. And then I go into the third round. Then I'm going to kind of go back on here. Two of my favorite picks were very early on. Darius Alexander, I had a near first round grade on him. I think getting him in the third is huge. And then the Browns getting Harold Fannin Jr. He was my number 3 tight end in this class, only behind Loveland and obviously Warren. And they got him in the third. So
Browns.
Very, very good pick for the Browns there, in my opinion. One of my shout out Siobhan Revel Jr. I had a first round grade on him too. Cowboys getting him in the third I thought was huge. One of my least favorite picks, I'm going to go probably right to my Chargers pick. Jeremy Caldwell Jr., I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I mean, look at everyone who's being drafted around him, by the way, their grades. 96 overall right here. We go right after 99th. Chargers, 210. 48 grade. What are we doing? Maybe it's just biased because I hated it.
Hey, they got their guy.
I guess. But third
Wait,
round,
so didn't Mel Kiper have like Shador Sanders as like the number 2 player? Or
number 5 player overall? Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous.
And he was getting a lot of. I saw that he was getting a lot of hate because of it or something like that.
My opinion on Cheddar was wildly different. I had I thought he was so like overrated going into it. I'm like, this guy cannot be a first round pick. But then once he dropped out of the third, I'm like, oh my god, he's a steal now. Whoever gets him is
Yeah,
so
you were
lucky.
saying he was like a 3rd, 4th round pick, and I was like, oh wow, he's for sure going first round.
Yeah, but
he didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow.
I had a third. Well, to be fair, I thought he was going first round. I just had a third round grade on him. I'm like, he is not a first round talent.
Yeah.
But then he
what do you think about the prank call situation?
I mean, I think Genty got prank called as well. Tyler Warren got prank called too. Everyone got prank called. It was just Shedder's had his on camera. But
yeah, and he's a Sanders, and he was falling in the draft. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, and then third round was one of my favorite rounds of this draft. Though I basically loved every pick besides the Chargers pick. We move on to the 4th round. Maybe it's my Nebraska bias here, but the Ty Robinson pick for the Eagles, I absolutely loved. I thought Ty Robinson's an absolute stud. Saw him play every game last year. Big Ty Robinson fan, and also Deonte Walker. Look at his measurables. 6'7", 331. Are you kidding me? This dude he is so raw. but man, he has the body to do whatever he wants. And then my last pick, I just really didn't like here. I mean, I also again, this is not a draft I really didn't like. I'm gonna go probably the Jack Sawyer pick for the Steelers. I think because he went to Ohio State and he was that defensive engine, they're like, oh my god,
Mhm.
I love this guy. I don't know
Yeah.
why he got drafted. He was gonna get drafted, but he's just not an NFL talent. I don't know what to say. He has a motor.
Hmm.
That's it. He's gonna be
Totally.
a high energy guy who you love in the locker room. And if that's what the Steelers are going for, then they got the right guy. I just
Totally.
don't love him on the field. I just
He does
watch
have
him.
a motor. He does have a motor. So
Yeah,
maybe you never
maybe.
know. That's
Yeah,
that's that's Mike Tomlin's kind of player.
yeah. If there's any organization that was perfect for Sawyer to go to, is to be coached under Mike Tomlin. Put it that way.
Totally.
Tomlin can harness that motor and make it work. But I just was not a big Jack Sawyer fan. But other than that,
All
lot of
right.
good
So
picks.
give me just in the first round your biggest boom, your biggest bust player.
Biggest boom. I mean, even all draft position aside, biggest boom. Travis Hunter. He has a chance to unironically be offensive and defensive rookie of the year. I'd put it this way: I don't think he'll win either because I think they're going to split his time.
Hmm.
That being said, biggest boom, obviously Travis Hunter. Absolutely love him. Biggest bust for where he was drafted. I hated the Tyler Booker pick. I think he's drafted way too high, and I don't think he is a number 12 back. However, that being said, my bust I think has to be Jackson Dart.
Hmm.
I did not have a first round grade on him either, and I think trading up to go get him is just silly.
Yeah.
So that'd be my biggest bust for sure. I just
All right. Well,
don't think he's
how
gonna
does
work.
this class stack up against maybe the last five classes or
How
something like
do I
that?
explain this? This class had a lack of generational talent. This class did not have like when I look at 2020, what two I think it was the Panay
Hmm.
Sewell class, the Rashawn Slater class. I think all the then we had another class with all the generational type quarterbacks coming out of it. It lacked generational talent. That being said, this class, uh, contrary to other classes, I look at round three, and there was still a ton of back end first round talent here. So this was a very, very deep class with good players. I think it just lacks great players, if that
All
makes
right.
sense.
Just Hunter and Genty.
I mean, I here's my generational grades I had: Hunter, Abdul Carter, Ashton Genty, Will Johnson, were honestly my only four generational. And then
All
with an
right.
asterisk on Josh Simmons if he's healthy for the Chiefs, which pisses me off. But Simmons was also in my generational. This could be all pro many years to come. Players. God. I mean, then there's also guys on the fringe you see have potential. McMillan he's right on that edge of being generational. We can see Tyler Warren right on that edge. We can see like there's some players who are close, but there's a clear two. I mean, there's a clear few: Hunter, Carter, and Genty for me, and then add in Will Johnson and Simmons as well, and that probably rounds out my five of generational ones. Whereas I usually probably have like 10. I'm like, all right, this guy's probably gonna make the Hall of Fame. Lock him in already.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's pretty clear Chat Hunter's number one though.
yeah. Hunter and Carter, them two,
Yeah.
they're battling out. But yeah,
All right. Well, nice. Let's move on to the NBA, yeah?
NBA. My bad for my yapping that long, but yeah, the
No,
NBA.
you're very passionate about the draft. I love it.
Yeah,
Because I don't really know much about it. So
yeah.
it gives the viewers
hmm It's so funny.
the listeners.
Just to rant once more. I'm so
Oh,
mad
here we go.
I can't like the Mason Graham pick because I love him as a prospect. He's so good. But why would you trade back at a Hunter? Anyways, okay. Moving on to the let me start through my screen here. Moving on to the NBA playoffs. What
Yeah, so quick refresher. The Lakers, our team, are out. LeBron
lame?
had a MCL strain. They were too old, not old, but they didn't have any depth.
No center.
They got they lost games they should have won. I think the Timberwolves had like a plus 45 in the fourth quarter for the series. It just hate to see it
Hate to see it.
because we had the talent to be able to do it and it didn't happen. And LeBron's not getting any younger.
Yep. But yeah, Lakers, they disappointed me. That being said, I did not have too many expectations this year. I mean, I expected us to get
True,
past the Timberwolves, but
true.
I didn't have us winning. I don't know if I joked about it, but my true non-biased thoughts were we're not a well-rounded team. LeBron is just too old. Luka's probably not well meshed in yet. This was definitely a stepping stone year for Luka, and I think this
Hmm.
offseason we're going to work. I think it's going to be a big offseason for the Lakers. Put it that way. I think we are
Hmm.
really going to go hard to work around Luka. We're going to bring in a center. We'll see. I don't know what centers are
He's
available.
technically a free agent, right?
Luka, no, next year, but I think he's going to
Okay.
sign an extension this year.
Okay.
Um, but the silver lining is Luka is like looking likely to sign an extension. He said he's all in on the Lakers. That being said, even bigger news though with teams who are still in the playoffs. Curry out for a week.
There's been some. Wait, first this second round, there's been some
Crazy game.
upsets.
Oh,
There's
and
been
not
some
even just
upsets.
just the Knicks coming back down 20 against the Celtics. The Pacers coming back down 20 against the Cavaliers in game 1. Then a crazy last minute to come back in game 2. Um we
Nuggets coming back to beat the Thunder.
Thunder. Oh, down 20 I think them as well.
I
Insane.
feel like the NBA's been missing these kind of games, and
Yeah.
I feel like they haven't came in a while. And here we go. It's
Yeah.
all coming up quick.
Yeah, and then the Warriors
Um,
hanging on the win against the Timberwolves without Curry is also
I
impressive.
couldn't believe that. I didn't really watch the games after
Yeah,
Curry. I heard I'd want to watch it, but I couldn't believe they ended up winning the game. They were up like 25. But it's like
yeah.
I will say this: the Warriors don't have a shot without Curry. And,
No,
and,
no
and
shot.
as much as you think Game One might have been
No shot.
a sign, there's no chance. And people got to understand that Curry is, yeah, Curry's that. So we'll see. We will
Like
see.
I think they have a shot to beat a team like the Timberwolves. Even though they beat the Lakers, I'm just not high on the Timberwolves. They can beat them,
Exactly.
but either playing OKC or Denver without Curry, no shot. Like Curry will need to be back for that and healthy.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I'm actually excited about is even though people might be hating, I do love Steph Curry, and I know he's injured,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure how it's going to be.
Hmm.
But if he comes back, the way the playoffs are looking,
Yeah.
there's a shot that Curry could make a run here.
Yeah.
And
100%.
and if he wins another ring, Reed,
There's gonna be some uncomfortable conversations to be had.
exactly.
Like put it this way,
You said it
if he wins
perfectly.
another ring, here's what's obvious. If he wins another ring, he is undoubtedly the best point guard of all time. There's no more.
Yeah.
Is it Magic Curry? It is Curry. Just
Okay.
flat out. Then you go
Is
into the now. Put it this way: conversations I still won't entertain. He's not Jordan level. He's not LeBron level. He's not Kareem level. I probably have him. I probably have him fourth all time though.
is he a top? So you think he's top five all time?
I think if he wins this, I have him four. I think there's.
Is he currently top 10 all time?
I have him top 10, but I have him top 10. I don't think he's solidified top 10. You can make he's solidified top 15. I think he's top 10. I don't think you can make an argument for top 5 now though. But
But if he wins a ring this year, it's like, hey,
he solidified top 5 for me. Solidified top 5 with only Kareem, LeBron, and Jordan over him.
what does he need to do to get in those conversations with Kareem and LeBron?
I mean, be in the conversation, win another MVP, probably because for at the end of the day, he has 2 MVPs. His career, while it's a long career compared to especially Kareem and LeBron, just nowhere close. His counting stats are nowhere near theirs, especially in the points. So, and also, the eye test shows he's just not as good of a player.
Sure.
At the end of the day. So, but like especially in the defensive end,
I
where
agree.
Kareem, LeBron, Jordan are two-way studs on both sides. Curry is a one-way stud.
No, I agree. I agree. I agree
So
totally.
like it's just I don't know if he'll ever get into those conversations because at the end of the day he's a one-way player. Who whereas these other players at no point in their on the floor are they a liability. For half the game, Curry's a liability on the court.
All right.
So
Here's a question. Here's a question.
yeah,
Out of all the um, out of all of the teams left,
yeah.
or players left, what player or team would get the most like credibility or clout if they won the
More
championship?
by far it's Curry. He has the most on the line. But I think a sleeper one is Jokic. If
Okay.
Jokic can take this team right now and win a finals, he's bona fide top 10 for me, without question. 3 MVPs, 2 rings. That he
Yeah, this would be this would be impressive for
yeah,
Jokic.
if Jokic does this, he's going top 10. I think it now one player who I don't think it does a lot for is going to be the Celtics team. I think the Celtics are a team who have already done it before and they're expected to do it again. I don't think we
Hmm.
then see Tatum or Brown like, oh, all right, now we got some generational top 10 greats here. Like it's just not going to do it for them. The team's too good to be like, okay, now it's you guys.
Hmm.
That's going to be seen as a team accomplishment. Now, I will say on the flip side of that, this Celtics team, if they do it, will be seen as a dynasty though. But then like players who will just get risen, like Brunson and Cat, if they win a ring, they'll be
I was
seen
gonna
as
say that the Knicks would be cool.
like the Knicks would be cool, but none of these players are gonna get risen like that.
True.
A player who I think will rise big time though is Anthony Edwards if he is able to do it.
Ooh,
I think Donovan Mitchell will be seen a lot differently if he's able to
no
do it.
chance they win.
Yeah, down 2-0 to the Pacers at home, not good. But
Halliburton, if Halliburton did something here,
I don't even know.
that'd be big.
I'm gonna say something crazy. I don't think Halliburton's the best player on the Pacers.
Oh shit!
I think Siakam is clearly the best player. Siakam is so clearly the best player on that. Like Halliburton's the point guard, so he has the ball in his hands the most. But Siakam's the best player on that damn team. Like, let's not get it twisted.
It's Halliburton.
No,
Game winning three. Game winning three.
he got the game winning three. Siakam's the better player, and it would be a second ring. He was already the
Yeah.
best. He was already the second best player on one ring. He'd be the best player on this ring. But no.
True.
I think the two biggest impacts are Kurt, and also don't forget Jimmy Butler getting his first ring. That'd be big. But
Yeah, but if he did that, it'd be all Curry.
it'll be all Curry. Well, there will be some question marks to be had though. Let's say the Warriors win every single game without Curry, with Jimmy leading them.
That won't happen. But go ahead.
There's not conversation of who's better, Jimmy or Curry. It's obviously Curry. However, it would say like when you talk in history, be like, well, when Curry was out in the playoffs, they were still winning. He had a great team around him. Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green. Like those conversations would be had.
Now, what about Draymond Green? What did it do for Draymond Green?
Nothing. I think we'll be seeing. It's more than a Robert Ory type of deal. He's obviously more important there. But it's like, yeah, you have a lot of rings, but you're never the third best player on any of them. Yeah, you're the third, but like on 2 of your rings, well, obviously you were the fourth with obviously Curry, Durant, Thompson. On your first ring, it was Curry, Thompson, and
Iguodala.
And don't forget, this is like obviously it's going to get laughed at in hindsight, but this is prime Harrison Barnes as well. This is when Barnes was considered like you're getting the big contract, you're an all-star now. He was on that team and arguably better than Draymond.
Sure.
So I mean that, and then you look at the most recent ring. You could argue Jordan Poole is playing better than Green in those finals, and obviously had Clay and Curry. So, like, there's an art. So yeah, but Draymond's very important. Obviously, he had an argument to win Defensive Player of the Year this year and didn't. Obviously, it went to Mobley.
Hey, he is more of a backbone for the team. It seems like
he's a backbone.
obviously.
Yeah, I mean he's a Rodman. I don't know how to say it. It's not. Obviously, it does a lot for him. Having 5 rings is 5 damn rings.
Yeah. So who's your number one team that you would want to see win, and number one team that you don't want to see win?
I want to see I want to see the Nuggets win again. I want to see Jokic win again. I want to put to rest of any player. Jokic is that guy. That's what I want to see. I want to see Jokic win. Who I don't want to see, I don't want to see people saying Curry's got 5, LeBron's got 4. Screw that. Warriors can lose. Don't care. Don't want to see.
Oh, what's it called? We didn't talk about the Thunder at all. How does it affect Shea?
A lot. I think the Thunder not as much as a Jokic because the Thunder are just so much of a better team than the Nuggets are, like minus the star player. But it does a lot for Shea. I think he immediately gets catapulted into the top 75 all time. He'll have an MVP this year and he'll have a ring. He's immediately there. The expectation now, Scott, he becomes a household name immediately. Even though I think he already should be, I don't think he is for a lot of people. I was talking to my parents the other day about the NBA playoffs, and they didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So he immediately becomes a household name. It's huge for him. I'd say it's not out of all the players, he's the third. He'll be the third biggest benefactor.
What's it called? I still can't believe that the Clippers had that. The Clippers had him. How did he leave? What happened?
Are you ready?
They traded him?
Actually, I'm not. I don't even want to tell you. I just want you to see the nonsense. You're about to see the absolute just. I want to see if there's an image of this where someone's made a graphic of this just nonsense. Trade to Clippers details. okay, I'm not seeing a good picture for it, unfortunately. But so here, are you ready for this? I'll show what I'm showing, but it's not a very good thing because it's just Wikipedia, whatever. Um, here, here, the absolute nonsense. The Clippers acquired Paul George from the Thunder in exchange for. I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna skip the first part. In exchange for the first round draft picks of 2022, 2024, 2026, and 2 first round choices. And also pick swaps.
And Shea.
So in itself, mine and then obviously Gallinari. I'll throw him in there too. And Gallinari actually had a couple good years. I digress. You gave up basically 5 first round picks. 5. Are you kidding me?
And Shea.
So and Shea. The Thunder got 5 first round picks for Paul George. Oh, and also, here's this rookie that we have who's played 1 year, who's going to win the MVP, who's going to be the best player in basketball for the next
worst trade in history.
I think the Luka one's going to be up there. But as of now, what we've seen, yes. Yes, the Clippers went to Western Conference Finals with Paul George. Like, I'm not going to get it twisted. He still did his thing. But oh my God.
Wait, so the Clippers traded 5 of their own first round picks?
5 first round picks they owned, yeah. Wait,
the Thunder are good, bro. And don't they have more picks coming?
Let me share something else real quick. Let me go here. Yeah, I think they still have more because they also traded away Westbrook and got a ton. They traded away Chris Paul and got a ton.
Mm-hmm.
That organization, I don't know, like that, they just did so good. Look at this. To the Thunder for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a massive haul of draft picks, including 5 first-round selections. There was even more.
All right, back to the playoffs. Give me your predictions of these next series and how many games they're going to go, and then give me the whole playoffs.
Yeah, let me actually just go to the playoff bracket so we can look while we do this. Share something else. Let's go to the playoff bracket. Here we go. All right. Here is my prediction. 1, I think the Warriors. Actually, I'm going to go to that one last because I think it's most complicated. Here's my big prediction. I think the Cavaliers come back and beat the Pacers in 7.
Okay.
I think the Cavs are still going to beat the Pacers even down 2-0 and are now going on the road.
I think the Pacers win the series. I think it's too hard having the Cavaliers go on the road the next 2 games. Yeah, if the Pacers just take one of those, it's going to be pretty impossible, I think. So, yeah. Go ahead. That's what I think.
The Cavaliers are going to come back, but obviously the Pacers are now the odds-on favorite. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Thunder beat the Nuggets in 6. I know the Nuggets won.
Game 1. 6.
I think the Thunder are kind of just going to steamroll them from this point on.
I didn't watch Game 1. Did the Thunder look like a better team?
Oh, easily. Like they just collapsed in the 4th quarter.
Okay. Something to be said about the playoff though. The playoff 4th quarter is a real thing.
Celtics Knicks. I mean, I don't want to say the Celtics are going to win in 5, but I still have the Celtics winning in 6. I think they're just clearly a better team. And then I go to the Warriors Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves are going to win these next 2 games, but I think the Warriors are still going to win the series, probably in 7.
Okay.
But it all depends on when Curry comes back. If Curry comes back, and also how he comes back. If Curry comes back and he's clearly just hobbling around the court and he's not Curry, then you don't have Steph Curry out there. That fears you. So it all depends. But my predictions are Thunder, Cavaliers coming back, Warriors, Celtics. But if the Pacers just win 1 at home in these next 2, then I have the Pacers winning. I think the Cavaliers.
So based on your predictions, what's your finals matchup?
My finals matchup is going to be Thunder versus the Celtics. And I think I'm going to have the Celtics unfortunately win it all. I still have it.
I have the same prediction. I think the Thunder take it.
Yeah. And also, look at all these matchups, by the way. Thunder are, Nuggets are just not a good team. They have Jokic and quite literally no one else. I know there's playoff Jamal Murray, but he's so inconsistent. Westbrook is so inconsistent. Gordon is so... That is not a good team outside of Jokic. Thunder are still 10.5-point favorites over them.
But to be honest, I think this year, out of all years, there's more of an open door, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, 100%. like with Curry's injury, there's open door for the Timberwolves now. Not like Nuggets, Shea and Jokic are just such polarizing figures. You just never know what's going to happen there. Cavaliers obviously the best team, but the Pacers are up 2-0, so who knows what's going on. Celtics obviously a better team, but the Knicks won the first game, so you just don't know what's going on here, for sure.
All right. Well, I'm excited to watch.
Yes. But yeah, I think that I can probably wrap it up.
Yeah? Wrapping it up, baby.
Wrap it up.
It's another great podcast. What episode is this now, Reed?
I think 6.
All right, we're busting them out.
Yeah.
All right. And it's another episode for you guys. I appreciate everyone that's listening, those who tuned in, and we will see you next time.
Peace
Boom!
out,
High
everybody.
elevation, baby.